because somebody else just DM'd me as well about the FEG. Like Jamar said, you can add it with the template you have, or if you just want the ones that show up on your chart like this, it's pretty simple. Just go to indicators, type in FEG, and it's going to be this first one here by Nephew Sam. Put that on your chart. It's going to put the FEGs on your chart, just as you saw in Jamar's. You can change the time frames, all that good stuff. So how Jamar was just showing the double stack FEGs where he entered based on the volume based colored bars. You had the exact same thing here. So, just whatever visually looks best to you. The point is to utilize the information we're giving you guys because, it works. And then another quick thing as well, just to kind of add to the fire that Jamar just talked about. We've mentioned it on the past couple of calls as well. So let's just take, for example, you took this trade based on Jamar's strategy. Another thing I'll do as well to kind of keep me into these trades longer as well. My target is going to be these green FEGs. So that's kind of what Rhoda just mentioned. So that's kind of my target profit areas. So I would be looking to, at least take some off the table or at least have a trailing stop, kind of like Jamar just put in. But also, if you're more of a swing trader on the future side, you want to go smaller contracts, but hold the trades for longer. What I do as well is use the 5 and 13 EMA. So if the 5 EMA is crossed below the 13 and maintains, gaps in between pointing towards that 4 or 5 o'clock, and I'm in a short, you can continue to hold that short. Okay. When the EMA starts to get flat, kind of like how you see here, how you see here, and how you see here after you have a trend. So if you're, playing a down move or whatever the case may be, an up move, that's another telltale sign that you can start looking to take some profits or get out of the trade completely. Okay. And as we said, go ahead.
Just let them know I closed the trade out since we're on this call, but I'm done in that trade in 15 minutes.
Let's go. So James said, what kind of capital do you need to be trading futures? So if you trade it on your own, you need a few thousand, but what a lot of us are doing is just using Apex or Lilu, which are pretty much just prop firms. So a lot of these prop firms, James, will run sales to where you can trade a 25K account for $30 a month, or I think yesterday it was like $15 a month. So, it's less capital coming out of your pocket. You're still able to utilize the skill set and still able to trade the futures market, but you don't have to have 5, 10K to put into an account. All right. So, if you're stacking accounts, like Jamar mentioned, you're making $500 on each account, say you have 10 accounts through Apex, $15 times 10 is only $150. And now you have the ability, with the right skill set to make 500 times 10 on any given trade. All right. So definitely look into Apex if you haven't, and, watch previous videos as well. We kind of go over all of that stuff.
All right. And let me say something too. It's like, when I'm trading in the day, I got a house cleaner and I use a remote desktop where when I leave my screen, I close the remote desktop. So it's closed. But I had my other trading account up on my screen, and they wiped my desk down and they hit a button and they took a trade. And when I came back in, I was down $700 on a trade because I left my keyboard and I left the trading screen up. So, that's one of the reasons I use a remote desktop is because, I close it out, and you just close the window, but you don't have to close the trade because sometimes I'm using it. But if they wipe their keyboard and they hit some button or they hit the mouse and they entered a trade, right? And I came back 45 minutes later, I'm down $600. Now I was trying to figure it out, and I sent Brandon a message. Me and Brandon, we were on a different call. I was like, bro, I forgot to close my screen out. So there's like little mistakes, when you're trading, the little details, they really count.
Yep.
Right? Every time you mess up on a little detail, you pay for it.
Yep. And, something similar, not exactly similar, but something happened to me today. I was on a call with another mastermind member earlier. We're kind of going over some of the future stuff and kind of like how Jamar was showing with the different strategies you can add here on Ninja Trader. So what I personally have is an ES strategy here and then an MES strategy. So for MES, I trade 5 contracts per trade versus if I'm trading the ES, I only trade 1 contract per trade. So I was, rushing, trying to show him what to do. And I accidentally clicked the EMS strategy, but I was trading ES. So it opened up 5 contracts of ES instantly. And I was immediately down, 2, 3, 4, $500. So, like Jamar said, the small details can make a big difference. So, if you are messing around with NinjaTrader and using the different ATM strategy tools that you create, definitely always make sure that what you have here matches what you're trading. So what I do personally to try to help me with that is to name my strategy based on what I'm trading, right? So if I'm trading ES, I have an ES strategy. If I'm trading MES, I have an MES strategy. All
Hey,
right. So that's another quick tip for you guys as well.
so if I haven't told you guys, here's the level of different trades. Futures, you can make the most amount of money, even more than crypto, but it's the most, you need the most skill, right? And then second, it is crypto, because you get in the wrong thing, you can lose everything overnight by getting in the wrong trade, liquidation. And then it's probably Forex, then it's options, and then it's stocks. So the level of difficulty, right? Futures is first level of difficulty. Second is crypto. Third is Forex. Fifth is option, or fourth is options, and then the last is stocks. And you can make, the Forex, people make money off the leverage, right? And it's unpredictable. So to me, it's harder for Forex. For futures, it's more fundamentals, options, it's more technical. You need to know the different calls, and it's, to me, the learning curve. If you can pick the direction and know which ones are going to give you the highest beta, but if you're wrong, you go to zero. So at least in options, it's a zero-sum game. In crypto, it's unlimited upside, and it's also unlimited downside. You could be in something like Celsius or FTX, and you can lose everything overnight. You can get hacked. So there's a lot more risks. But on trades that are trending, crypto over the period can give you the highest return because you have unlimited upsides. The futures market, you're gonna have volatility up and down all the time. Good markets, bad markets, you have action different times of the day, but it takes most amount of skill because you can make a lot of money and lose a lot of money quick. So, if you are new to trading, you don't want to hop into futures unless you've mastered crypto or mastered stocks at least, right? You got a high winning percentage. All right. And then on days of volatility, futures, it kills traders, right? So even, some traders, they have large accounts and they'll do hedges both sides because it moves so fast, right? And in futures, you can go to jail if you mess up, right? You get a margin call on TD Ameritrade, Charles Schwab, and you will have the FBI at your door, right? You own 10, 20,000, you didn't close out a trade, you messed something up, you get a margin call, you got 5 days to pay, you can't pay, they sending them alphabet boys to your house. All right. So
yeah, that's why I like these prop firms. If you use negative too much, they shut it down.
Shut it down.
All right, cool. All right, cool. So I want to go over a quick couple of things as well, just based on around news trading, because we do have a lot of news coming up this week as well. So if we go to Forex Factory real quick. So for today, for example, at 10 a.m. Eastern time, we had the PMI news come out at 10, and then also the FOMC come out at 2. If we go to ES, so this is actually what I traded today. Let me go here, 1 second. I'll go to bar replay, go back to before the market open. And I kind of just want to go through my strategy as well, how I'm trading the futures. And a lot of it is based on the FEG, but also the floor and ceiling as well. But I kind of just want to go through the mindset process when I come to my desk every morning. What am I looking for? All right. So, if you've been on my calls, you've been on my trainings, I'm a big proponent as well of the TDI. So when I first come to my desk in the morning around 9, I'm looking to see, is the TDI currently at an oversold position or an overbought position, AKA the 30 or the 70. So days like this morning, it was neither. It's dead in the center, so there's really no direction that I can go by based strictly on the TDI. So the second kind of thing I look at is I want to look for those big FVG zones. So what I mean by that is if you look at these FVG zones here, and I think this is what trips up a lot of people, I'm not really concerned about those from an entry perspective. I'm more so looking at these huge areas that really stand out to you. So that would be down here at the bottom at this low, and also right here at this high that was created the previous day. So January 3rd, yesterday. So if we actually let this play out really quickly, I'm gonna go to 1x. I was looking for price to kind of reach those areas. So if you kind of let this play out during the open, so we have the open here at 9:30. So I'm gonna pause right there. If you pay attention, right at 9:30 before the news hit, at 9:40 exactly, we retested that FVG zone here. So what I've been doing in my trading is if I have one of these big zones retested prior to some news, typically price is going to push down in that same direction based off the news, versus where a lot of people were probably going long in this scenario. And this is actually where I made my money this morning. So the fact that I knew the PMI was coming out at 10 and we just retested a very high probability FVG zone right before the news came out. Let's let this play out real quick. At 9:55, you can see what happened again. Right at 10 o'clock when the news hit, price went right back into that same FVG zone and price dropped immediately, right? So how Jamar is looking for 80 ticks for any of his trades, the way I trade, I'm only looking for 40. There's no right or wrong answer to that, but I only need 10 points and I'm done. So that's literally the easy setup that I took this morning, and that's just strictly based off the news. Now, you can take that same logic and apply it to the red folder that we had as well at 2 o'clock, which was FOMC. All right, so if we let this kind of, I'm going to skip ahead so we don't have to watch this all the way through. So 2 o'clock would have been 1400, which is around here. Hit replay, go here. Same exact concept, guys. All right. We let this play out really quickly. This is what we had if you pay attention, right? So the reason I love that 513 EMA cross as well is when you have those big extensive moves like you see here, what I've been seeing in a lot of my back testing is you'll kind of have an indication or something that's going to cause an FVG in your favor to appear before that news hits. So actually at 12:50, which is really around that lunchtime, you had a big move here. You had your EMA cross to kind of give you that heads up. But if you kind of zoom in, what did this big down quick move actually create? An FVG. You got the shark fin on the TDI, all that. We're not going to even pay attention to that. Strictly based on price action, you had the red FVGs form, which matches the sentiment that you had this morning, right? So what I did as well, same exact thing. The news came out at 2 o'clock. Price retreated right back into that FVG zone. I took the short here and price immediately dropped all the way down. I think it was like 50 or 60 points. Yeah, so 30, 40, 50 points in one candle just based on the news. So that's how I've been able to actually pass a lot of my accounts quickly on just a couple of trades. So even if I just go to my email really quickly, if I just typed in congratulations, because that's what Apex sends, you'll see all these emails I've been getting saying you passed your Apex. Here you passed it, you passed it here, you passed it here, you passed it here. These are all in the past 3 or 4 days, and it's been just off news. So that's something else that I've been using to my advantage because futures does move so fast. If you're trading with a nice strategy with a small stop, because if I'm taking trades here in the FVG, like I always tell you guys, my stop is the most recent high. So I'm only risking 5 points, but look at the downside that you're getting. You're getting 30, 40 points on the backside. So I'm willing to risk 5 points all day to make 30, 40 points, especially if that gives me the ability to pass my challenges fairly quickly, right?